Rewilding in the North East, wild at heart. I'm Lucy. I'm a rewilder, botanist and campaigner. I'm currently working for Northumberland Wildlife Trust as a peatland specialist, but I have spent the last year working part-time at Hepple estate and the summer researching plants in Upper Teesdale. This talk, my talk, is going to cover some introductions to rewilding and young wilders. My experiences of working at rewilding estates and what I learned from it, a plot twist that I won't reveal just yet. And I'd like to share my vision for a wilder North East, and hopefully some takeaway messages. So yeah, what is rewilding? I first heard about rewilding when I was studying at uni for my conservation and ecosystem management masters, and I remember hearing my lecturer Janet talking about rewilding, and it really just captured my imagination, and it just seemed like this new way of that was more than just managing land. And yeah, so Rewilding Britain is an organisation that's dedicated to rewilding, and their definition of rewilding is large-scale restoration of ecosystem to the point where nature is allowed to take care of itself. So it's about identifying missing natural processes and reinstating them, whether that's mimicking them or hopefully even better, introducing species that will take care of it for you. But what I really find interesting about this version of rewilding is the idea of turning challenges into opportunities. So, for example, climate change is all very doom and gloom, but a positive could be that more people notice and care about their environment. So yeah, I think it provides hope to people, and I really love this. So Young Wilders is a youth-led nature recovery charity who are building a community of young, passionate nature nerds, and I found this incredibly valuable through my journey, especially when meeting other young people who struggle to get jobs in the sector. But what I love most about Young Wilders is their creativity and their silliness, and how unapologetically Gen Z they are. The reason why I'm talking about Young Wilders is because they made the work I did at Hepple possible through their Wild Stewards scheme. So there's currently 7 of these projects across England and Wales, with the goal to have one within an hour of every young person. And within each of these projects there are 2 young people, and they are put in funded, influential rewilding positions. So next, a bit about Hepple. It's a 4,000-acre site located in the Coquet Valley in Northumberland National Park. It shares the rugged crags and fells of Simonside with Rothbury Estate, which is now partially owned by the Wildlife Trust. The estate has seen a mix of upland management regimes from grouse moorland, sheep farming and forestry over the years, but new owners, Walter and Lucy, found there was just no money in these regimes anymore, and traditional conservation methods weren't quite cutting it in terms of stopping the decline of species in the area. So in 2020, they made the decision to switch things up and try rewilding. As such, the habitats are slowly changing. I've noticed that in the moorlands there's rowan and birch popping up. Down by the river, it's getting much scrubbier, and across the sites, the straight lines are becoming blurrier. My first encounter with Hepple was actually, in fact, through a Young Wilders event there about a year and a half ago. About 30 of us camped there for 2 nights, and it was really a magical experience. So I was incredibly excited when I got the opportunity to spend more time at Hepple the next year. What did I get up to at Hepple? So after I got to know the land and met some of the local characters, such as the Mangalitsa pigs and the longhorn cows, I started off the year by helping to prepare for a tree planting event by scarifying the ground, which is where you create bare patches in the ground, and this allows new life to flourish. And then, one of the most instantly impactful things I did was putting up a fence that ran along the bridleway. This just made such an impact to the landscape. It made it feel more welcoming, and it just felt like you contributed to rewilding. So yeah, that was great. But a standout day was doing a hedge laying course there. It was it was really amazing to watch and learn from the course leader David, and then attempt to also coppice and leave the trees like him. Me and Harry, who's here today, she was my fellow wild student, we produced a bit of hedge that we were really, really proud of. And because of that, Hepple is now a more connected land. And then another huge moment was running a volunteer day. Again with Harry, we ran a Sitka spruce removal day, and we absolutely smashed it and removed 500 Sitkas from the heath and bog between 15 of us. And yeah, that was just in one day, and it was a bit of a competition. Harry's team won. But yeah, other things I did throughout the year was lots of monitoring. We had malaise traps for invertebrates, camera traps for small mammals, and we designed a survey to monitor where the pigs had been rootling and the changes in vegetation there. And then towards the end of the year, we spent a lot of time working on the tree nursery, and this involved collecting and planting globe flower seeds and hazel tree nuts. And it was really nice to actually connect to the thing that you're planting and not just be given it. And work on something with longevity as well. And then the final thing we did, that I have to talk about was, the Young Wilders big event that was called Overgrowth North. I helped organise and run this, and it was a youth rewilding summit, and it brought together 60 young northerners to celebrate and learn about nature. We did things like field ID workshops, campaigning, implementing policies, and getting a bit crafty as well. It was a great success, and I learned lots in the process, and I can't wait to do it again next year. But yeah, so what did I gain from this amazing experience? So getting to see what happens from day to day at a rewilding site was really interesting, really valuable, and seeing how much monitoring goes on. And then I really gained practical skills in conservation and running volunteer tasks and delivering events and engaging people in the things I care about, like botany. Young wilders have shown me that creativity is such an important and undervalued skill in conservation, and allowed me to revive my own creativity and bring it to all aspects of my work. I've gained an amazing network of friends from my fellow wild stewards, people I've met at events, and the team at Hepple. And finally, I've gained confidence in myself as a rewilder, being able to trust my land management instincts and believing young people are intelligent, influential leaders in conservation. So now we are at the plot twist segment of this talk. Can England have true rewilding? So thinking back to our definition of rewilding, allowing nature to look after itself, how close are our rewilding sites to this? Take Hepple, for example. They're still definitely at the mimicking natural processes stage with intentional tree planting, hedge laying and wetland creation. But will they be able to move beyond this stage if current policies don't change? For example, the Dangerous Wild Animals Act of 1976 places restrictions on releasing much needed native keystone species such as bison, lynx and boar into the wild. Furthermore, our ecosystems and habitats are so depleted to the point where many species are clinging on in small, isolated pockets, often in the uplands, which means that land has to be managed in specific ways or we risk losing these important rare species. And this brings me to my next slide, which is about my time at Upper Teesdale. I was lucky enough to spend the summer here being trained as a botanist by John O'Reilly and to look for rare and scarce plants. And there was a lot of rare and scarce plants to be found. Upper Teesdale is one of 5 botanical hotspots in England, and it has a unique set of plants that are alpine, calcareous, boggy, and lots of weird ferns that grow in cracks of the crags. And it's some of the best botany around, and also I've never seen so many whaley birds ever in my life. But yeah, the land is managed closely by Natural England and tenant farmers, and with a reasonably high stocking density of sheep and cattle, and this is to maintain a low sward height to give the rare plants the best chance of getting light, as many of them need this. But yeah, seeing this amazing botany has made me appreciate the need for protecting these areas and understand that not everywhere has to be rewilded. That being said, there were plenty of boring bits that I'm sure could do with a bit of rewilding. And yeah, this sort of leads me to my vision of rewilding in the North East, which sort of has come from everything I've experienced and learned. So my vision encompasses a blend of traditional farming and forestry techniques with less reliance on pesticides and fertilisers, rewilding and wilder urban areas, It's more wooded, especially in the uplands. Rivers are cleaner and wetlands are wetter, and the ecosystem is more connected and dynamic. Urban areas are bursting with life, with green roofs, community gardens, and parks are a mosaic of meadow and wood pasture. Cultural heritage is celebrated and traditions are shared. Access to wild areas is increased, made fairer and greener. I believe the North East can and will become wilder, and it can show the South how it's done. So what I'd like you to take away is that young people are leaders in rewilding. They're ambitious and creative leaders. Rewilding is not yet possible, and it needs policymakers on board. Not everywhere has to be rewilded, but the North East can and will be wilder. Thank you.